James, no doubt it's been an interesting season.
Well, Canterbury had a really good season, which is unusual for Canterbury. We missed that horrible frost that went through a bit of North Canterbury and up through Blenheim. We actually probably had, in the 11 years we've been here, one of the probably more perfect seasons we got. A bit difficult with water and sort of balancing the crop, but we had a very good harvest, very good clean fruit, which is the formula to make some reasonable Canterbury wine.
So we're looking forward to some pretty good wines.
I hope so. It'll be much better than the 2014 season, that's for sure.
We've had some pretty heavy frosts. Is that good for you guys?
Yep, it'll clean a bit of disease up, keeps the weeds down. Not too good on the old fingers for tying down, so we've taken a couple of 10 days off in July so that we'll get to a bit of a warmer period to lay some canes down at the beginning of August.
Isn't that getting just a little bit late?
No, we just have to work faster.
So seriously, how's the industry looking? Because for many it's just a fantasy, but for those in it, it's actually damn hard work.
Well, I could tell you the joke about the prostitute and the actress, but
you probably could. But
yeah, no, we won't go there. It's very hard because we're sort of featuring. We're competing with the big boys, and when I mean this, the corporates, and they have to sell their product as well. So every time they get squeezed, we get squeezed. It is a very tricky formula to market wine and to be successful at it. I one day may get there, but at the moment it's a pretty uphill battle.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty interesting because you just couldn't afford to be putting wine up as a loss leader.
No, not really. We always have, and we try to put out a $10 bottle of wine in the shop so that we always get a few punters on a $10 bottle of wine. We always have a bit of something lying around that we put out at a $10 special in the shop, in our own shop here. But volume is to putting it out. We can't keep selling bottles of wine at $10 for too long.
Wouldn't it cost you about that?
Pretty close. I mean, say the good old government gets about $2. Somebody's going to correct me here, but it's about $2.39 in excise by the time you actually pay the GST, because you've got to turn the money over to pay your excise, which is non-GST refundable. So $2.39, I think, per bottle for the government.
And then there's the bottle and the cap.
Well, we won't go into the bottle, the growing, the pressing, the grapes, the label, the boxes, getting it to the market, and then always you get the odd one that comes back like a boomerang that somebody's not happy with, but that's very seldom. So all in all, as you say, $10 is getting pretty for a small person like us. No volume. The more volume you get, the cheaper it gets.
James, what sort of acreage have you got here?
We've got, in old-fashioned term, we've got 20 acres. In modern-day terms, we've got 80 hectares, whichever sounds the most impressive. But we are planted on pretty wide spacing, so we've got about 16,500 plants, which I always quote 16,500 plants. When you ask other vineyard proprietors or people that grow grapes, they can never tell you how many grapevines they've got.
Well, actually, you do the pruning, so you'd probably know.
I don't do all the pruning, but I mean, say we always do. I'm always working out volumes, what we want on a crop level, spraying, various other things. It's always the numbers. It's the numbers at the end of the day that make the vineyard, basically.
And you're mainly three types?
Yeah, we've got three major. The vineyard's split up into three even types. We've got Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, and Riesling, and we have a very, very unique bit of Cabernet Franc planted, about 560 plants of that, which is now roughly 32 years old, which we make a very dry, stunning rosé out of.
Now, with respect to Riesling, it's probably pretty hard to sell.
Some big winery told me the other day that New Zealand's sales of wine is 1% is Riesling. We don't have a problem selling it if we're hand selling it through the door, but obviously liquor shops have a problem selling it to the mass public. Hence, there's a lot of people trying to do a lot of different things with Riesling in the winemaking situation. I think it'll all get back to a system of sweet, medium, dry. We do carbonate quite a bit of Riesling, which has been quite successful for us, and it's quite fun. We call it the lawn mowing special. When you've mowed the lawns at 4:30, it's something you can drink very quickly. It's not hugely alcohol, and it's quite fun.
Because most people think it's something you should eat with dessert.
Well, you do. Cheeses and stuff like that. So we had a person last night that called in and we whipped a bottle of 08 Riesling off the shelf and knocked it off, and as he said, we didn't really need much else after we'd had a glass and a half of Riesling. It was damn good. And I mean, say, that's unusual, but he was a sweet person and he enjoyed a sweet wine.
What about the coming season?
Well, you know, when the fat lady sung, that's when the harvesters back the load back into the bins. We'll know that's another 6 months. We wouldn't want frosts like this in the springtime. They've been extreme, but let's hope that the weather people that say that the climate or something's changing, we've got the seasons in the right proportions this year. We've got winter and winter, spring and spring, and summer and summer.
James, water. How much reliability do you have on water supply?
We've got a third of the place now under frost protection with water, which I wish I'd done right in the beginning, and I'd be able to sit in my armchair and take it a bit easier. We need water desperately in the summertime. Thing that we've learnt, especially with the older vines, everybody says they've got long roots and they don't need as much water as they do. I could actually put a word in there that's not quite true. They do need water, and a lot of the plants need a lot of water in the dry shingle sort of soil that we've got. So we have been using a lot more water in irrigation prior to, you know, the right times of the season, and we've actually tried to use our fertigation, which has cut down a tractor driving up and down for putting nutrition in the ground.